2023 was a questionable year for Roblox. There was a lot of awful moments, updates, and more. So today we're going to look back at some of the worst updates and moments this year. Please subscribe and stay tuned to see how bad this year actually was. Alright, so let's go all the way back to the beginning of this year with some of the first drama. Of that being Roblox actually messing with the badges. So at the start of the year, there's actually a huge drama going on with badges where Roblox's badge API and stuff kept breaking, and a lot of developers started losing money from it because Roblox wasn't properly awarding badges. And then this led to a whole community discussion and debate of number one, Roblox kind of ruined badges just because they make them so unimportant now. And people like Creekcraft, for example, made the whole posts and videos talking about how Roblox needs to improve the badge system because it was suffering a lot, and it was suffering a lot at this time. And that's kind of the first drama and stuff to kind of start off the year of people being angry at Roblox because they kind of ruined badges and they've been dying ever since. And with that, we move to some more drama, people being angry at Roblox once again. And this time it's a bit different because what was going on at the start of this year was actually a lot of RB battles drama, and not actually RB battles, people being angry at them, but people being angry because Roblox didn't support them. They revealed that they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars or $100,000 or more actually on RE battles, and Roblox didn't support them at all. They barely promoted it for them, they didn't even help with them with the money side of it, and everyone's angry at Roblox because Roblox always says that they want people to make their own events. That's their whole goal for the future. They just want people to do everything for them, which is kind of why they don't do events anymore. But then when someone actually, or people actually make a good community event like RB battles, Roblox doesn't do anything about it, and everyone's kind of angry at Roblox for that. And then from this time, we also had a bunch of random stories. There's this one instance where Roblox actually scammed a lot of people. Basically what was going on was that they released an exclusive item when you get a toy code in a Roblox toy. So you actually have to buy a Roblox action figure for $20 to get this item, which is not bad. But then Roblox literally released the exact same items, the same textures and everything, just you can buy it for 150 Robux, so significantly cheaper. And a lot of people felt scammed by Roblox because of this. And with that, we have the next big update that kind of ruined Roblox this year, of that being the changes in Robux. So this year Roblox completely changed Roblox gift cards, and what they basically changed it to is that before, if you bought a gift card and it said $10, it would give you $10 in USD no matter where you lived in the world, meaning that all gift cards were just in American currency because Roblox is based in America. And that was fine for a while, and it's been like that forever. However, this year Roblox changed it so that when you buy a Roblox gift card, you're not going to get $10 USD or American money in every country anymore. It's just going to be whatever currency of your country, which doesn't sound that bad, but since this update we learned that because of this, a lot of people got Robux more expensive and more cheaper now. And now gift cards give a lot of people less Robux and more Robux depending on where you live, but for the majority of people it's less Robux. And now Roblox gift cards and Robux in general is more expensive because it's not it's your local currency. And that's kind of a really big change this year. Roblox in general getting pretty expensive and Roblox being more expensive. Pretty insane and big update from them. And with that, next, at the start of the year, we also had a bunch of issues going on with Roblox removing free items. So out of nowhere one day, Roblox started removing a bunch of branded free items, and a lot of the free items that you would get for events and stuff like that started getting deleted and removed. And we didn't really know why this was going on, but a lot of people suspected that Roblox probably lost their contracts first or something like that, and as a result of this, we lost a lot of free items this year as well. Let's get into our next update, probably one of the biggest changes to happen to Roblox, not just this year, but in general, of that being their new age guidelines and age rules. So firstly, Roblox introduced the age rating system and the ability to verify your age and stuff, and then from that, they made it so Roblox experiences, I can't believe it's called experiences, but whatever, but they made it so Roblox games can determine what age rating their game is. So for example, a lot of games are just for everybody, so they're every age, but then some more mature games 13 and up. And then from that, we got the ability, which was one of the craziest things they did, to make 17 and up games. And 17 and up games, Roblox announced, was allowed to have swearing in it, dating, romantic themes, gambling, alcohol, and more. And because of this, a lot of 17 and up games released that are more mature. Now to be fair, I am saying this is a bad update because obviously this whole thing is just kind of insane for Roblox. However, I feel like this update kind of got better over time, but also kind of worse because it kind of got worse because everyone kind of realized when it released it's kind of useless. But also, when it was first announced, no one really knew that you had to verify your age. So now that you actually have to verify your age, it's not as bad as people thought originally. But then from that, a lot of people also say, a lot of people still find a way to kind of loophole, verify their age by using someone else's ID. So it still is kind of bad and pretty weird from Roblox. And that's kind of one of the biggest changes we saw this year. And then from that, at the start of this year especially, we had a bunch of hacking situations, and Roblox hacking reached a pretty low point in terms of a lot of hackers. And games like Bedwars and stuff started kind of losing players, and a lot of people started leaving the games due to all the hackers in it. And ever since that, Roblox did release anti-cheat, but I'm actually going to talk about all the good stuff in another video, so stay tuned for that. But the bad part about this obviously being the hacking situation was really bad this year. And speaking of bad situations, next, this actually happened this year where the Roblox YouTube and YT name ban thing for the usernames actually came back. And out of nowhere one day, anyone who had YT in their username or YouTube in their username, and I think even other platforms like Twitch and whatever, started getting their accounts fully deleted. Not even banned or a warning, their accounts would just be gone, and it would say directing users off platform. And this issue did happen, before, and there's a huge issue going on, and ever since that it died down. But then this year it came back, and I think it came back twice now. But this one was the most major one because it was actually deleting accounts, and a lot of people lost their accounts over this, but over time I think they did fix the issue and people got their accounts eventually. However, for this period of time, a lot of people changed their usernames, and a lot of people were worried because they thought their accounts were going to get deleted as well. And it's a pretty insane situation going on. And from that, we got some more drama of this situation going on at the start of the year, where if you guys where Hasm, the owner of Please Own It, actually launched a bunch of cool websites and stuff where he would give away free Robux, and he made kind of his own free Robux system. But then Roblox being Roblox, they shut this whole thing down. They said that he's not allowed to do this stuff because going off platform, and they kind of shut down this whole free Robux thing, which is pretty unfortunate because a lot of people got a bunch of free Robux from this. And from that, we got a pretty big situation going on with Roblox Premium, where for some reason, for a majority of this year, or for like a few months, Roblox Premium was completely broken. For a lot of people, a lot of options didn't pop up, and it seems like depending on your region and stuff like that, you would have different premium options. So some people didn't have options to buy the cheaper ones, some people couldn't buy the more expensive ones, and for a long time, Premium was just completely broken, and a lot of people stopped buying it because a lot of the options were missing and it was being very weird. And obviously with all this, just in general, this happens every year, but there's a lot of glitches going on where people bought Premium and didn't get it, people bought Robux and didn't get it, and that's kind of a common thing I've seen throughout all year, where there's big glitches going around, especially with mobile, where people just wouldn't get their Premium and also they wouldn't get their Robux. But all this stuff should have been fixed by contacting support. But it was a pretty big issue going on. I think this didn't happen this year the most out of every year, but then you can also just say that's because Roblox is getting bigger. And with that, this year we have a huge issue going on with voice chat, and I think it's gotten better over time, but I still see people getting banned for it, where for some reason voice chat moderation is just awful. Obviously Roblox moderation is awful, but voice chat moderation is especially worse because there's a big glitch going around where people can just report you for anything, and it doesn't have to be a bunch of people, it can literally be like one person, and if they report you in voice chat and they just say you swore even though you didn't swear, you get your account banned for like a few days. And because there's a lot of YouTubers and people got banned for this, I think I even got banned for this at one point, and a bunch of other popular YouTubers got banned for this. And because of that, a lot of people were scared to use voice chat, and a lot of people stopped using voice chat because of this. And it was a massive issue going on this year, and a lot of people lost their accounts because of this for a few days. And with that, we also got a bunch of avatar issues and glitches going on. At the start of this year, there's a few issues going on where people's avatars wouldn't load. And then recently, there's this big glitch where Roblox would like not show people's avatar items. There's kind of two variations of this, because at one point in the year there's a glitch going on where they wouldn't show your avatar items but you still have the item. But then recently they just made it so another glitch where they would actually delete your items. So it was a pretty big glitch going on because people's avatars would go missing. And then on top of all that, when people went into a game and try to change their package and stuff, there's a glitch going on where their avatars wouldn't load and it would just be completely different, and everyone else's avatar wouldn't load as well. So there's a bunch of avatar glitches and inventory glitches happening this year where people's items will be missing and deleted, and it's pretty crazy what's going on with that. And I feel like this year especially we've seen the most glitches with roles itself. And then from that, this year's kind of been the fall of UGC and the UGC program. Like before, the UGC program was completely fine and people made some fun items, but for some reason the UGC just moderation completely broke, and as a result of that we've seen so much copyrighted items, fake limiteds, messed up items, weird items, stuff like that. Now I know a lot of people could argue that this like made UGC fun and stuff. However, as a result of that, a lot of people who relied on UGC for like their main income, and it literally was their job, they suffered a lot from this, and it made them harder to make money in Robux in general. So it's a very big issue going on. And obviously, a lot of fake limited stuff got made, which kind of ruined the limited community. And also this year we saw a bunch of changes to Rolls' visual avatars, which I mean, you could argue this is good or bad, but this is what the Rolls account ended up looking at the end. They had some weird changes, but this is what the final avatar looked like, and it's not that bad. However, I think the more controversial one being is that they changed the Builderman avatar as well, and this is the final product here. This is how it looks right now. And I'm saying this one is the most controversial because the Rolls avatar for the most part still looks kind of the same. However, the Builderman one's completely different, and that iconic Builderman look that they had for so long now is completely changed and different, and they kind of modernized it, which is why people don't like it. And speaking of avatars, the Billy avatar absolutely exploded this year, but from that we got a bunch of drama of that being Rolls actually deleted the Billy avatar for a while, and then they had a bunch of drama because the Billy avatar person was struggling to like keep the item up, but eventually it did come back, but it was down for a while and they deleted it for a while. And with that, next Rolls was involved in another lawsuit. Rolls was involved in a bunch of lawsuits lawsuits this year, as per usual, but these are kind of the more important ones. At this time, the biggest lawsuit was the fact that they got actually sued for all their gambling stuff and the gambling sites. And it's actually a pretty big issue for Roblox because a lot of countries actually banned games in the past before because of the gambling and stuff. So Roblox is in huge trouble because of this, and they could be in potential danger. But this also is still ongoing. It'll also take a long time, so we have to wait and see how this ends. And during this period, for some reason, there was a bunch of lawsuits going on from Roblox and companies and developers. Like, there was an issue going on where people were actually getting sued for their Roblox items because they use brand names, and that's kind of a pretty big issue going on because a lot of people just make clothing when they're younger, especially, not thinking too much about it. So the fact that people were getting sued for it was pretty bad. And then obviously during this time, as you probably remember, there was massive Pet Simulator drama where they were literally striking down every game and like Suing and DMC striking a bunch of people. It was massive drama because Pet Simulator was taking out so much smaller games and smaller developers, and people thought it was completely undeserved. And this drama only killed their reputation even more. And then with that, Roblox had this weird like phase where their search system would just keep recommending people the most insane and random stuff. Sometimes it would be like racist too. It's kind of crazy what was going on with that. And surprisingly, during this era, the losses don't end. I told you, there's so much going on. I don't know why, all at once for some reason. A lot of car companies started taking down and suing Roblox games for using like their assets and stuff, because a lot of car games model their cars off other car brands, like realistic cars, and they try to make it as realistic as possible. And because of that, car companies kind of caught on that they're using like their designs and stuff, so they actually started suing Roblox games. And because this, a lot of Roblox games have to remove a bunch of cars and stuff, and they have to refund a bunch of like game passes and stuff because people spend Robux on it. And then from that, we had the first kind of messed up drama, I feel like, not from Roblox's end, but from the players and the community. Because this year we actually saw something pretty cool Roblox did for once, where they actually started handing out a bunch of free Dominuses, and I think there was a Valkyrie at one point for Make-A-Wish people. And because of that, we saw a bunch of, you know, unique one-on-one items this year, which was pretty cool. However, because of that, Roblox players started attacking these people and started being really mean to them, and I think one person even got doxxed over this. It was insane drama, and people didn't really see the point that these were Make-A-Wish items, and they're jealous that they're only one-on-one. So that was kind of insane, stupid drama going on at that time. And with that, we kind of move into the RDC news and updates that they announced, and the first one being the use of AI. Roblox recently launched their AI thing, where you can literally make an entire Roblox game with AI now. You can ask it how to script, you can ask it how to make specific games, and this one's kind of on the fence. On one hand, people think it's controversial and dumb because it ruins all creativity, but then on the other hand, people think it's good for people who don't know how to develop and they're just starting, and you know, they can get experience. Let me know what you think of that, because I've seen a bunch of people in the fence right in the middle with this one. And then from that, we got the calling update, which was, once again, I feel like there's two sides to this, but when it released, a lot of people realized that it's pretty useless and just weird for Roblox, and a lot of people don't even use it anymore. And then with that, we also got subscriptions from this, which I feel like was the most controversial one, besides, you know, the calling update maybe. And the subscriptions update basically is just that developers can now add monthly stuff that you don't pay Robux for, but actually real money. And we've seen popular games like Blade Ball, I think, add this and stuff. And a lot of people think it's actually ruining Roblox because stuff that once costed a 1 Robux fee, now you have to pay real money for every month. And people think this update just made Roblox more pay to win in general, and it kind of ruined a lot of the games because they keep getting more pay to win. And from that, we move into a huge drama situation where at one point, Roblox announced that they're going to be changing up Roblox games and how you use items. And basically what they announced was that if you use other clothing and stuff in games, especially like those clothing games where you try on items, you're no longer allowed to do that. And if you do, you have to put a pop-up every time saying that, do you want to buy the actual item and stuff? And they basically kind of killed these games, like Avatar try-on games. But then from that, the situation got so out of hand and so much drama around it that they actually reverted this update, and they announced they're not doing it anymore. And with that, this was a very weird year for Roblox faces in general because of the dynamic faces and heads. Roblox fully leaned into Roblox dynamic faces and heads this year, which, if you don't know, are faces you can control with your actual face using like a webcam. So if you smile, your Roblox character smiles. But then because of that, they started converting a lot of popular faces into dynamic, which ruined a lot of popular faces, and a lot of popular free faces went off sale, number one. And then number two, a lot of the obscure faces, you know, like this one here, for example, started getting ruined because there isn't really like a proper mouth shape for them. So this year, a lot of faces got ruined, a lot of iconic faces got ruined, and the whole dynamic thing, a lot of people didn't even end up liking because they think it's kind of useless. And from that, pretty insane situation next being that Roblox started deleting accounts. For some reason, there was a big glitch going on at the time where Roblox actually started deleting people's accounts and banning people's accounts for stuff they did back in the day. So if your Roblox account got banned before and stuff like that, they would actually just ban you again for some reason. It was kind of really weird getting confusing what's going on. But as you can see here, Creekcraft was a result of this, and he got banned in 2023 for something he did back in 2017. And a lot of other people had this too, where bans that they got from like years ago started popping up again. And for this period of time, a lot of people lost their accounts again, and they kept getting banned. It was a huge glitch going on, but eventually it was fixed. And with that, Rolls launched on PlayStation, which was really good. However, when it launched, it was very disappointing. A lot of people were disappointed in general because they think that it was so low effort. Like, a lot of the controls apparently didn't work properly, and it seems like they just kind of copied and pasted the Xbox version onto PlayStation rather than making it fit for PlayStation, which had a lot of bugs and glitches. And then from that, on launch day, a lot of people couldn't even play because it's very glitchy and broken. And with that, another big thing that happened this year with Roblox is that it was completely broken, and they kind of changed the prices and the options. For some reason, for every different account, they changed the options and prices. So it was no longer the regular prices and options. For a long time, they changed the amount of Robux you would get and how much it costed. And because of this, Robux ended up being more expensive and cheaper, mainly more expensive for most people. And like, as we can see here, these are two accounts in the same region and they have different options and prices, and it's very weird what's going on at that time. And they did fix this eventually, but it's like this for like a few months. And next we have a big update of Rolls removing ads starting next year. So I mean, I guess it's not this year, but it's close enough because they announced it this year. Rolls is removing ads. All those ads you see around the platform, advertising stuff, are going to be completely gone, and they're moving to only have them in game now. Which immersive ads are also going to be a part of this, I guess, because a lot of people don't like them. And that's kind of a big change Rolls did this year, where they kind of changed all the ads to not be on the platform anymore, and they're going to be only in game now. And in general with that, I feel like that kind of killed the whole ad system because they seem pretty useless now. And from that, we got another big lawsuit, being that parents actually started suing Roblox for the safety concerns on the platform, and a lot of younger children saw a bunch of inappropriate stuff this year because of Rolls' poor moderation, and Rolls faced a pretty big lawsuit because of that. And this actually gets pretty worse, but we'll cover that in a little bit, because next, David Baszucki said some pretty insane stuff on a news interview where he actually announced that he's still open to the idea of NFTs, and he actually wants to make them like a currency on Rolls in the future, and he wants people to be able to trade and sell and make NFTs on Roblox, which is very surprising to see because at one point Rolls completely ruled out NFTs, but it seems like they kind of changed their mind, and Rolls might be heading towards a future where Roblox is not the main currency anymore, and people spend real money on items and NFTs and stuff on the platform. And with that, the Roblox glitches and stuff don't end here. Another big thing that happened this year was that because of the gift card thing I talked about previously, where they changed how gift cards work, a lot of countries who couldn't buy gift cards before and they were kind of forced to use like VPNs and stuff cannot buy Robux anymore since they aren't produced in their countries, since Robux gift cards have to be region based. Like if you live in Canada and you go to America and buy a Robux gift card, you can't redeem that in Canada and if you have a Canadian account because it has to be to your region. So because of that, a lot of countries just couldn't buy gift cards anymore because of this new change, because previously they're forced to just buy it from other countries, but now that it has to be in their own country and their own country doesn't have gift cards, you just can't get Robux anymore. And with that, Rolls also announced a big change this year of how they're going to do the in-game menu. As you can see, they're kind of changing everything to put it all in this one place and one menu, and a lot of people hated this because it seems like they're adding more steps and it's kind of annoying now. And a lot of people hated this new change. And with that, we're kind of moving on to the more recent stuff, being one of the biggest changes of that you can now swear in Roblox games. They made it so that any 17 and up games can allow swearing, and the developers control how much you're allowed to swear. And now you're literally allowed to say anything, the F word, the S word, anything on Roblox now if you're verified 17 and up and have a 17 and up game. And this was kind of the biggest changes we've seen because Rolls completely removed the filter now. It's getting crazy to see. And from that, as a follow-up to the last also talked about, not only are Roblox being sued by parents for their safety on the platform, but Rolls' own investors, who they care about a lot as we've seen, are suing them as well. And Rolls is facing a bunch of huge lawsuits this year, and they're actually in a bunch of trouble. Like I said, those lawsuits take a bunch of time, so we don't know the results just yet, but Rolls could be in a bunch of trouble because of these lawsuits, and they face a lot of big ones this year. And from that, overall Rolls this year, there's a big situation going on where everyone's saying that Rolls is getting boring. And Rolls right now in general has a big problem with everyone copying each other, and big games just copying each other and stuff like that, which led to the platform getting stale for a bunch of people because every game just feels the same. And with that, Rolls actually got exposed too, because Ruben Simier tested out the report feature where they reported 100 obvious suspicious accounts and 100 kind of regular accounts, and none of them actually got banned. So Rolls kind of got exposed here for the report system being pretty awful, and it just shows how bad their moderation has gotten. And with that, we move to the more recent news, being that the verified issue going on. People have discovered loopholes on Roblox now, and you can actually just buy the verified checkmark. People are selling it for like $10,000, which is actually crazy. And if you just know someone with the same popular game and they make an editor, you can now get a verified badge. And a lot of people are now using the verified badge to their advantage to scam people because they look more trusted. And it's a very big issue going on in Roblox right now. And with that, another big change that happened to Roblox this year was that they changed UGC heads and bodies. So you can no longer have a free UGC package. I think it has to be 75 Robux. And same thing with heads. I think it has to be minimum 75 or 175. And Rolls actually changed this twice because originally it was 75 and then they changed it to 175 for the heads, I think, and packages have to be 75 Robux, so you can no longer buy free packages on Roblox anymore. And with that all being said, this year I feel like I've seen the most Roblox being broken moments, where for some reason Roblox had so much glitches this year for literally every device. PlayStation had big issues where people couldn't play the game, and these were happening like a few times every month, and in general these were happening a few times every month for every device, not just PlayStation. Mobile had a bunch of glitches this year where the screen would be black or white and it wouldn't work, and they couldn't get into a game and it would just keep crashing. PC had the most errors this year, where people kept getting errors and they weren't allowed to play the game. And in general, Roblox was the most broken this year I think I've ever seen it. And overall, with that all being said, I'm only covering the surface I think. I probably missed a lot, so let me know in the comments. But these are some of the biggest and major Roblox drama and moments that happened this year. There's obviously a bunch more that I missed. I'm not going to go into like every drama and stuff like that because I'd be here for years. But as you can see, this was a very tough year for Roblox. A lot of people are saying that this was Roblox's worst year, but I don't think so. I think 2022 was worse, but let me know what you guys think. Will this Roblox's worst year or not? And if you enjoyed this video, to learn about all the good updates that I'll be releasing tomorrow, and I'll see you in the next one.